nice. It's been a while. I can't really explain why. I just needed a break. Not that I was posting consistently anyways, it's just I needed a break. But recently I've been missing making videos and I don't really know why. Maybe it's just because I've been thinking a lot during this isolation with COVID, but I don't know, I miss it. So I was thinking recently about videos I could make, and I realized that through these past few months, most of what I've been doing has been watching movies or shows, and also missing movie theaters. And one of my favorite things to do when I would go to movies is save their tickets. So every movie that I went to about 3 years ago and onward, I would save the ticket and just compile them, and I just keep them. I just think it's a fun thing to do. I like looking back on it and remembering the memories. Movie theaters are very comfortable for me. You know how there's like comfort movies and comfort shows? That's like my comfort place. So I thought that we could go through them, and if there's a particular story attached to them, then I could talk about that. I keep all my tickets together with this little clip, but yeah, that's how many I have. So let's get started. By the way, I will be going from oldest to most recent, and even then the most recent one was a year ago. The oldest one I have is from July 2015, which is Inside Out. I saw this one in grade 8 or 9 with a group of friends that I had at the time. I don't remember much from the experience, but I do remember when we finished the movie, we took a picture of the movie poster outside and we put it on Instagram and we tagged each other as specific ones. I was Sadness. Finding Dory from June of 2016. I don't really have a memory associated with this one, but I know that I went with my mom to see it. Suicide Squad from August of 2016. This one's in rough shape. I have no memory of seeing this in the theater, but I'm pretty sure I would have gone with my best friend because that is the only way you can get me to watch Suicide Squad, besides Harley Quinn. Magnificent Seven from October of 2016. I saw this one with my best friend and it was really fun. I had a great time watching this one. I definitely remember this experience. And afterwards we went into this like arcade area of the movie theater and we got some tokens and stuff from playing the games, or tickets. And then we went up to the prize counter and I got a very tiny deck of playing cards, but they're like this tiny and I still have it. I have a memory box where it's just a box full of stuff that I have memories attached to, and that's in there. Passengers from January of 2017. I saw this one with one of my aunts from my dad's side. I don't remember how the movie went, or like my first experience of it. I didn't love the movie, but I had a great time with my aunt. It was really fun. La La Land, also from January of 2017. I saw this one with my nanny, or my grandma, but I call her my nanny. It was really fun. I say I don't like musicals, but I have exceptions, such as Hairspray, that's my number one, and then La La Land. I really enjoyed that one. I didn't really want to see it, but there was no other movie playing that both of us wanted to watch, and she was like, oh, Emma Stone's in it. You like Emma Stone? And I was like, yeah, okay, because I love Emma Stone. So yeah, that was a fun time. Beauty and the Beast from March of 2017. I saw this one with my mom and my nanny, and there was a really funny thing that happened during this movie. It is spoilers though, so spoiler warning for Beauty and the Beast, I guess. In the third act, there's a point where Gaston falls off like a ledge, like to his death, and when that happened, he just fell. And then a kid in the theater went, bye-bye. And it was so funny. Just the whole theater just burst out laughing. It was just amazing. It's one of the funniest experiences I've ever had. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 from May of 2017. I saw this one with my group of friends in, I believe that would be grade 10. Different group of friends from the previous one that I mentioned. But the same thing happened where after the movie we took a picture of the movie poster and then we all uploaded it to Instagram and everything, but we tagged each other as specific characters. With this one I was Groot. Wonder Woman from June of 2017. I believe I saw this one with my best friend. Also a good viewing experience. I thought the film was great. I loved it. Obviously Wonder Woman is incredible. Love her. I don't remember much from the experience though. I just know it was good. Spider-Man Far From Home from August 2017. I think I saw this with my best friend as well. Also a really great viewing experience. I also loved the movie. Spider-Man Homecoming is one of my favorite MCU movies, so watching it for the first time was really cool. Then we have It from September 2017. As you can see on the top of it, I went with my aunt and my Aunt Chantel, both on my mom's side of the family. It was really fun. I actually hadn't heard anything about it, but my Auntie Chantel told me about the movie because she liked the miniseries, and she was like, oh, have you heard of this one? And so we all decided to go, and I loved it. The first time I watched it, I was in love with it. I thought it was great. This is the second ticket I got. Sorry for holding it weird. My friend's name's on it, and I don't really want to put that on YouTube, but I did see it with a friend. I really wanted to go see it a second time, and so I asked him because he was like the only friend I had then who watched horror movies. So yeah, I got him to see it with me. I actually saw the movie 3 times, but I didn't get to keep the third ticket because a family member threw it away not knowing that I keep them. So I only have 2 tickets, but the third time that I went with my stepdad. The next one I have is Wonder from November 2017. I saw this one with my mom, I believe. I don't remember actually going to see it, but I know I went with her, and I know that I cried like 2 or 3 times. It was an emotional watch. Justice League from November 2017. I saw this one with my group of friends, the same ones that I saw Guardians 2 with, but my one friend was driving 2 other people, and so me, my best friend, and another friend had already gotten there, and we were sitting in the theater because like the movie was starting, and then like 2 minutes into the movie I got a text from the friend who was driving, and he was like, oh, I'm here, like where are you guys? And we were like, no, we're watching the movie right now. And he was like, no, but it's not playing right now. And we were like, where are you? He drove to a different theater. It only took him like 10 minutes to get to the right one. But when they came up the steps, me and my best friend were just crying laughing. It was so funny. Insidious, The Last Key from January 2018. I also saw this one with my stepdad. I did not like the movie, but it was one of the only times I've actually been scared watching a movie, so that was interesting. I don't really get scared much from horror movies, but the jump scares in this one just kind of sneaked up on me, and that doesn't make them good, but it definitely caught me off guard, so that was interesting. Maze Runner: The Death Cure from January 2018. This movie, it's a very sad movie to me. I don't watch this movie often, even though I really like it. I like all the movies in the Maze Runner trilogy. I don't think there's a bad entry, but this viewing experience, it was something. Because here's something you may not know about me. My number 1 comfort and favorite character of all time is Newt from The Maze Runner. It has been since grade 8, which at this point, it's been 6 years. 6 years of having Newt as my favorite and comfort. And if you've seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about. You just know. But at that point, I actually said out loud, no, not yelling or anything, but I said it at talking level in a movie theater. And I said no, and I started sobbing right next to my best friend. So that was interesting, to say the least. Black Panther in February 2018. I saw this one with my best friend. I don't remember the experience itself, but I know it was really fun. I really enjoyed the movie. I still enjoy the movie, but then when I think about the third act CGI, I kind of question it. But I really like the movie. I think it's really good. Definitely one of Marvel's best films. A Quiet Place from April 2018. I saw this one with my stepdad as well, and it was probably one of the best viewing experiences I've ever had for a movie, just because the entire theater was completely silent the entire time. And if you've seen A Quiet Place, it's heaven. That movie is perfect to watch in silence because the whole movie is pretty much a quiet place. But yeah, so it was just nice that there weren't even whispers or anything. Even no one was eating popcorn. Like, I had some and I took a few bites, like trying to do that thing where I just hold it in my mouth and like slowly chew, and even that was too loud. So I just kept it and brought it home. So yeah, that was a really fun time. Infinity War, also from April 2018. This movie had the worst viewing experience I've ever had for a movie, purely because I sort of blacked out during it. I'm sure everyone knows this by now because even when the movie came out, there were so many spoilers just everywhere. But at the end, when everyone gets dusted and they start going. When that first happened, I didn't know that was gonna happen. I successfully avoided all spoilers. I had no clue. So then when the people started going, and they were my favorites, like Bucky and Wanda and Peter, I wasn't even crying. My brain checked out. I don't remember watching the end of the movie. I genuinely cannot remember what it looks like in a theater. And normally I can. I can have a pretty good sense of what it felt like. With this one, I do not remember the last like 10-15 minutes. I genuinely have no clue how it went, and I was so out of it that I didn't notice that one of my friends was also in a similar state during that time, and I didn't even notice because I wasn't there. So that was the worst experience I've ever had in a movie theater. And yeah, it's still hard to watch sometimes, even though it's been memed so many times and I see it everywhere, but I just don't like to watch it. Deadpool 2 from May 2018. I think I saw this movie with my mom or my best friend. I can't really remember, but it was really fun. I love the Deadpool movies. I have both of them on DVD. I really enjoy them, and both times I went to the theater, it was really fun, so yeah. Actually, the first time that I went to see Deadpool, I went with my boyfriend at the time in grade 8, and he didn't tell me that it was rated R. He told me it was rated 14A in Canada, and that's what I told my mom. And then I came home from that movie after thinking it was 14A. I'm not like a prude or anything. I like to know what I'm watching. But when I got home, my mom was like, "Oh, how was it?" And I was like, "No, don't watch it, not good," because I didn't want her to find out. But it's Ryan Reynolds, and we both love Ryan Reynolds, so she watched it and she was like, "You saw that?" And I was like, "I had no clue." So, fun little story about the first one. I saw this one with my aunt. We went downtown to watch it, and it was really fun. We got ramen after, so that was pretty cool. It was an okay viewing experience. I really like the movie. I think it's really great. It's just I'll never watch it again. I got a lot of anxiety watching it, which is great for the movie, you know, that's probably the goal. But I don't want to watch it again. So it was a really good movie, but because I got a lot of anxiety from it, I don't really want to watch it again. So I associate it with the theater, but it really has nothing to do with the actual experience of watching it. Jurassic World 2, also from July 2018. I saw this one with my grandparents on my dad's side. I was over at their place for a couple nights for a sleepover, and on the second day we didn't really have anything to do besides just hang out at home, which isn't bad. I like hanging out at home, but they wanted to do something, so they wanted to know if there were any movies I wanted to watch, and I was like, "Oh, I like Jurassic Park." Turns out I don't like Jurassic World or the sequel. It's just not my thing. I just don't like the movie that much. I only rewatched the Jurassic Park movies, like the first 3. I actually have a box set of them, which reminds me that I really want to do a DVD collection tour kind of thing, like for a video, so let me know if you would be interested. Next is Ant-Man and the Wasp, also from July 2018. I saw this one with my mom because my best friend was on a trip with their family and they saw it while they were away, and then so I was like, "Oh, I want to go see it," so I asked my mom to go with me. I tempted her with Paul Rudd, and it worked. She loved it. But I love this movie. I had a great time watching it. We're only halfway into this pile. I still have this much left. Anyways, next one is Mamma Mia from July 2018. I don't think this is actually for the first Mamma Mia, I think it's for the second one. So assuming it's that one that I'm thinking of, I went with my nanny. I don't like musicals, and I don't mind Mamma Mia. I don't love the movie itself, but I love the music and the dance sequences, but I don't ever watch it. I don't really care too much. I know it's like beloved and everything, I'm not a fan of musicals. But yeah, it was really fun. My nanny was super pumped about it. I remember on the whole way there and the way home, my nanny would play the CD from Mamma Mia, the first one, in the car. And she would just be singing along to all the songs, mostly Waterloo, because that's like her favorite, so that's fun. Next we have Venom from either October or November of 2018. I can't really tell, sometimes the months and dates switch, so I can't really read what it says. I saw this one with my mom. Again, I had to tempt her into going by tempting the actor who plays Eddie Brock. because she likes him. And so I was like, oh, he's in the movie. And she's like, oh, does he take his shirt off? And I was like, maybe, like, I don't know. And then she watched it with me and she's like, not worth it. And I was like, no, it was good though. Like, I'm an apologist for this movie. I think it's a great movie. Okay, maybe not great, but I really enjoy it. But I might be biased because Venom is one of my favorite, like, anti-heroes. He's not really a villain to me. To me, he's an anti-hero, especially compared to Carnage. I'm very excited for the Carnage movie. But yeah, I might be a little biased, but I enjoy the movie. What can I say? A Star is Born from October 2018. This viewing experience kind of cursed how I am in movie theaters now, which sounds weird, but let me explain. When this movie came out, my granddad was sick, and a couple months before it came out, he became, I believe, terminal. Like, we couldn't do anything. So that August and September and October was really rough. You know, it's just a very emotional time. And so me, my mom, my nanny, and my aunt all went to see this movie together just because we wanted some time to enjoy ourselves because it was just a really rough time for all of us. So on one of the good days, we went and it was really great. This movie was really fun. And then the ending happened, or a certain event that happened. And if you've watched the movie, you know what I'm talking about because I don't want to say it out loud. But we watched that and I have never cried harder in a movie than this one. It got so bad where it felt uncontrollable and I thought that I would have to leave the theater and then come back, but I didn't want to embarrass myself like that, which is just my anxiety talking. But the reason this now cursed me is because every time I've gone to a theater since this viewing experience, I've cried, no matter what the movie is, and I will explain to some of these movies why I may have cried. So yeah, I don't know if it's because of it or if it's just by association of being in the theater and having that happen, but now every time that I've seen a movie since seeing this movie, I've cried at some point in the movie. Sometimes it's at the beginning because I can like feel it, or it'll be like an actual sad moment in a movie and then I'll just start tearing up. So it's weird. Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald from November 2018. I'm pretty sure I saw this one with my nanny just because I told her it was Harry Potter-esque and she likes Harry Potter, so she went with me. Like I said for the last one, I just started crying in theaters after that one. And in this one, it happened when there's blue fire around and Queenie goes near it. I don't know why. It just, I really thought something was going to happen to her and the emotions were just hitting. I also teared up many times because of Ezra Miller's character. They did a great job with playing Credence. It's just so sad. But yeah, it was a really good viewing experience. I don't support J.K. Rowling though, just making that clear. Aquaman from December 2018. I saw this one with my grandparents from my dad's side again when I went for like a couple nights out at their place and they wanted something to do, so we went to the theater and there was like barely anything out besides Aquaman, and I was like, you know what, I like Aquaman, I like Mara, not the actress, do not like the actress. Why not go see it? They didn't love it. They really didn't get the movie. They didn't like the CGI either, which I can't blame them, but it was a fun time. Mary Poppins Returns from January 2019. I saw this one with my nanny because she wanted to go to the movies. I did not want to see this movie. It was okay. It was an okay film. It was nice watching it together, but I do not love the movie. Captain Marvel from March 2019. I saw this one with my best friend. Neither of us really wanted to see it, but we did, and we both did not like it at all. I'm sorry, I do not like Captain Marvel. I don't like her movie. I will be watching the second one though, purely for Monica Rambeau. I am in love with her, but I don't love Captain Marvel, so watching this movie wasn't great for me in terms of watching the actual movie, but the experience of going with a friend was obviously nice. But we don't like it. Shazam from April 2019. I'm pretty sure I saw this one with my best friend. I had a great viewing experience with this one. I thought it was such a fun movie. I wasn't gonna see it because I'm not the biggest fan of DC movies. I love the characters and the comics and stuff, but more in the past movies I didn't really like. But Shazam is a big exception. Shazam is probably my favorite DC movie. I just think it's great. I wasn't planning to see this one until I realized that Jack Dylan Grazer was in it, and I've been an It stan since I first watched the first movie, so obviously I was gonna watch it for him. and I'm so glad I did. I love this movie so much. I actually have the Funko of his character, but like not him, like it's not him, like it's Freddy but in the costume. So yeah, I have that because I love the movie so much. It means a lot to me. It has Jerry from The Walking Dead in it, and I love him. He just seems like such a sweetie. And yeah, I just had a great time watching this one. Detective Pikachu from May 2019. I saw this one with my best friend because they love Pokemon, you know, games, cards, that sort of stuff. I used to collect the cards for a little while, but I kind of fell out of it. I don't watch the anime. I don't collect the cards anymore, but I saw it with them because Ryan Reynolds was a voice actor in it, and I thought it would be fun. And it was a really fun time. A little funny story about this one: when you actually see Ryan Reynolds in the movie, literally every time he was on screen, doesn't matter if it quickly cut away or anything, like no, every time he was on screen, me and my friend would go, "That's Ryan Reynolds." Like just as a joke. So yeah, we still do that. Spider-Man Far From Home in, I'm guessing, August 2019. This was a fun watch. I saw this with my best friend. I love Far From Home. I think it's really great. I don't think it's worse than Homecoming. I think they're equally as good, but I might be biased because I love Mysterio and I love Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio. I think he did an incredible job, and the CGI just looks so good with all of his illusions, and I love it. So watching this movie for the first time was really fun, and I cried many times, from the curse and for the movie itself. The Lion King from July 2019. I saw this one with, I believe, my nanny or my mom, or maybe both, with my younger sister. We all went together because she thought it would be just fun for the kid. I really don't like this movie. I just don't enjoy it. The animated Lion King is so much better, especially since their faces are animated. It's just the original one has just so much life in it, and it's just so good. And then this one is just kind of plainly realistic. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood from August 2019. I saw this one with my best friend and another friend, and it was amazing. I loved my viewing experience of this one. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is probably the best film I've ever watched. It is my favorite in terms of quality, in my opinion. And a little funny story about this one is that my friend who came with us, she had pretty strict parents, so she wasn't allowed to watch certain rated movies. I didn't realize that the ending had that amount of violence. And so I was like, oh yeah, 14A, like probably for swearing and stuff. So that's what she told her parents, and she was allowed to go. So then when it started getting violent, I felt so bad. And I looked over at her and I was like, I'm so sorry. And she was like, no, this is great. And I was like, okay, I'm good. But yeah, this movie is just one of my favorites, and me and my best friend watch it every few weeks. It's such a fun time. Spider-Man Far From Home from August 2019. I honestly forgot that I saw this twice in theaters, but this time that I went with my aunt from my dad's side that I saw Passengers with, and it's only because I stayed an extra night when I had a sleepover at her house. And she wanted to do something during the day, and I was like, oh, we could see a movie, but there wasn't really anything out. And so she was like, oh, you like Spider-Man, like Marvel, do you want to watch the like new one if you haven't seen it? And I had already seen it, but she really wanted to watch it with me, so I was like, oh yeah, like I haven't seen it. So yeah, we saw it. She honestly really liked it. I was a little surprised just because most of my family isn't into the whole superhero thing. But yeah, it was a really fun time just having her like experience the MCU for like the first time, because she knew like nothing about it. It Chapter 2 from September 2019. I saw this movie 4 times in the theaters, but I only have 3 of the tickets because, once again, a family member threw it out. Probably because they didn't realize I keep them. The first time that I went with my friend who I went for my second viewing of the first movie with. I asked him if he wanted to watch the sequel, and it was also with my best friend, like this time. I honestly don't know why my best friend wanted to join, purely because they hate horror movies. And I explained like some of the stuff that would be in it, and they wanted to watch it, except that the whole time during the movie, they were like this. They barely watched any of the movie. I was like in the car on the way home, I was like referencing certain scenes that happened, and they were like, I didn't even know that was happening. So yeah, that was pretty funny. Then I went a second time 2 weeks later. I was actually gonna go on my birthday, which is September 29th, but I had plans with family, so I went the day before, which is this time, and I'm pretty sure I went with my stepdad for this one. If not, I went with my aunt. And then this is the third ticket. I wish I had written the names of who I went with on each one like I did for the other movie. I just know that the first time I went with a friend and my best friend. Zombieland 2 from November 2019. This one I saw with my friend that I went to It and It Chapter 2 with. It was a really fun time. I just remember it being a fun experience. I don't really have any story for it. Then we have Joker from November 2019. I honestly can't remember who I saw this one with. It was a good experience, like for being with the person that I went with, but it wasn't a good experience for me watching the movie just because one of my triggers would be in the movie, which is very frail people. The Joker, I guess, spends a lot of the movie, you can just see his body. He's very skinny, and I can't really watch that. So for that reason, I choose not to watch the movie. I think it's a great movie. I think it was really good. It's just, I can't watch it. But I somewhat had a good experience, I guess. Then we have Knives Out from December 2019. I had an amazing time watching this movie in the theater. I'm pretty sure the first time that I went with this one friend who I saw It and It Chapter 2 with. I absolutely adored this movie. It's one of my top favorite movies just of all time. It's just so fun. I've seen it like 7 times. I watched it about 2 or 3 times in theaters, but I wanted to watch it an extra time, but I couldn't find anyone to go with me. This is my ticket from the second time we went in January 2020. So the first time I saw it, I was with my friend, and the second time I saw it, I believe I went with my stepdad. I'm not really sure who I saw it a second time with. Then I saw it a third time. I don't have the ticket for it, but I saw it a third time with the friend that I saw it for the first time with. It was a month after we first watched it, and I messaged him and I was like, oh, I really missed the Knives Out movie. Like, I want to see it again in theaters. And he was like, we can go if you want. And I was like, yes. So we did, and it was really fun. Then we have Weathering with You from January 2020. This viewing experience is one of my favorites, and it means a lot to me, and it was such a fun time. I went with a friend that I've known for over a year now. We met in my first year of college. At this point, we had only known each other for like 2 or 3 months, but we were talking about anime one night, and I had mentioned to him that I've never watched an anime movie. I only watch like the shows and stuff. And he mentioned that this movie was playing at a theater near him, so he asked me to go, and it was really fun. And it means a lot to me because it was my first time watching an anime movie, and also the first time that I'd gone to a movie theater with him, because that's such a special place for me. So watching a movie for the first time with him and having it be such a great experience means a lot. He's one of my best friends now, and this memory is just, it's really nice. I like thinking about it. We also saw Rise of Skywalker together, but I don't have the ticket because we did it like online. But I wanted to mention that because we saw that a couple weeks after this ticket, and it was not a good movie, but I did want to mention it because he likes Star Wars, and I haven't really watched the movies, so I can't really say I don't like them, but I don't make the effort to watch them. But this one, The Rise of Skywalker, was coming out, and he mentioned that like he didn't have anyone to go see it with, and so I was like, oh, I'll watch it with you, but I gotta warn you, I've only seen the Last Jedi, and I like it, and because I know it's hated. And he was like, oh cool. And then so the night that we went, I went over early to his place and we watched Last Jedi together before going to see Rise of Skywalker in the theater, and it was really fun, and I really wish I had gotten a ticket from that one. Then we have Sonic the Hedgehog from February 14th in 2020. Yes, that is Valentine's Day. I went to see this on Valentine's Day with my best friend because they had one of those coupons where it was like 2 general admissions, 2 drinks, and a popcorn or something. And so we wanted to see Sonic the Hedgehog, so we were like, let's go on Valentine's Day. And it was really funny because we both like dressed up for the occasion. It was really fun. And then when we were buying the tickets, the lady like taking like the ticket or whatever, and like taking the admission thing, and like giving us our ticket, she was like, oh, like what are you gonna see like on Valentine's Day? And we were like, Sonic the Hedgehog, and she just sat there and was like, oh, have fun. And And it was just so funny. It's just one of the best experiences ever. And it was just so funny watching it together on Valentine's Day. And it actually was a great movie and legit my favorite movie of 2020. Then my most recent one is Brahms the Boy 2 from March 2020. This is before Where I Live got put into lockdown, so that's why I actually have movie tickets from 2020. It was just that my area that I live in wasn't affected until March. We only got like the full-on shutdown in April. So with this movie, I went with my friend that I saw It and It Chapter 2 with, but the funny thing is when I asked him to go see this with me, he failed to tell me that he didn't watch the first one, because obviously this one was the sequel to The Boy. And I had asked him to watch this one and he agreed, and then I believe it was like 4 or 5 days before we were gonna go, and I was like, by the way, you have seen the first one, right? And he was like, what do you mean there's a first one? So then he came over, I think like the day before we went to the movies, and we watched the first movie together because it's one of my favorite horror movies, if not like my first or second fave. Probably because I love Lauren Cohan so much. She's just so talented. But yeah, so it was really funny how he didn't tell me that. And also throughout watching the second one, the entire time, that. So that was really funny because I would just look over at him and he would be hiding his face, and I was like, oh man, like, because I didn't find it scary. The movie's not good, and so I was sitting there like, oh man, like I really like the first one, like this kind of sucks. And then I'd look over at him just like scared, and I'm like, oh right. So that was really funny. So that was the most recent movie I've seen in theaters, but the last ticket that I have is actually from 2016 when I went to Emerald City Comic Con. I went down to Seattle to go to Comic Con, and I actually met Norman Reedus there. I have a signed picture of him. I also met, I always mess up his last name, so Sean something, who plays Robin Hood on Once Upon a Time. I also got his signature, and it was really cool. That was such a fun time. But on the last night that we were there, it was me and my mom and her friend and like her friend's husband. We were all there. Her friend's husband was actually the one to take me into Comic-Con because my mom didn't want to go. And so me and him went, or him and I went. But then the last night we were there, we wanted to do something. So then me, my mom, and my mom's friend went to see Allegiant in a theater. The reason I'm saying it last is because it's technically in the middle of my stack of movie tickets because I fold them inwards, and then since this one's so small, I just put it in the middle. So yeah, it was just such a fun time because the movie was really bad. I do not like that movie, but it was so funny watching it together because my mom didn't know what was going on. My mom's friend had read the books and liked them, and I was like, okay. So it just reminds me of Comic-Con and all the fun stuff that we went through that weekend. So yeah. So that's it for my movie tickets. Obviously that's not all the movies that I've seen in the past few years in movie theaters, because obviously I saw Avengers Endgame in theaters and other movies. It's just, it was all done like online ticketing, so I never actually got a physical copy. But this has been really fun. Let me know if you enjoyed this, and if you would like similar content, like going through my DVD collections, maybe my small like comic book collection, which is like right there, or my Funko collection. I have like 20 plus of those, which I could go through, bookshelf tour, anything like that. So let me know if you'd be interested in that. But yeah, so I had a lot of fun with this. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys soon. Bye!